Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning, Sanjog. I welcome you to this class on
Good morning, sir.
digital forensics.
Good morning, sir.
I'm going to share my screen with you. Tell me if you can see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
You
It is
can see.
visible.
Yeah, great, great. So let's first have a look at the syllabus of MTech Computer Science and Engineering second semester paper, Digital Forensics. Okay,
Yes.
so this is the division of the syllabus. You can see Unit 1 deals with the definition of digital forensics science. Then there is a computer crime scene investigation is there. In Unit 2 also cyber crime scene analysis.
Yes,
Then in
sir.
Unit 3 we have evidence management and presentation. Okay, how the evidence is managed, how it is presented. Okay, and the fourth unit is computer forensics and network forensics. So you see, it's sort of a a related thing from unit one to unit six as you see it.
Yes, sir.
The idea is how to check the various uh, evidences that we get. How can we gather them, and then how can we analyze them, and how can we use them to solve crime? How can we solve this? Then in network forensics, later we have unit 6, unit 5 and 6 is mobile forensics. Okay, how we can extract data from mobiles, like you see in how mobile tracing and all. Okay, what are the legal aspects of this? Then the few acts are there, IT Act 2000, then amendment of IT Act 2000. And then in the last unit, we have the recent trends in mobile forensic techniques and methods to search and seizure of electronic evidence. So already you've seen a lot of this in movies, but now we will study it as a subject. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And after we finish this course, you will understand the relevant legislation and codes of ethics, okay, the legal aspect, then computer forensics and digital detective and various processes, policies and procedures. Then what is e-discovery, guidelines and standards and e-evidence, and then email and web forensics and network forensics. The reference book is by John Sammons, The Basics of Digital Forensics, Elsevier book. I'll share this book with you right now. Okay. And another book is John Waka. That is also good, but we'll follow this book, John Sammons. But
Okay,
you
sir.
see, primarily, most of the things that you study would be known to you. So you just need to understand the technicality of that thing.
Okay.
All right, fine. Uh, I think this is the book that we are talking of, The Basics of Digital Forensics, the primer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So the first chapter obviously is what is forensic science, what is digital forensics, and then where do we use this? What is the use of digital forensics? And the role of the forensic examiner in the judicial system. You see, because most of the criminals, they must be brought to, justice through courts. Okay. So what is the role of the forensic examiner, the person who has, gathered and then applied, this whatever evidences have been taken, and how he should present that in the judicial system. That is what you focus in the first chapter. Okay, fine.
Okay.
A very interesting line to begin with. Each betrayal begins with trust. Do you agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that is the modus operandi of criminals. First, they would win the trust of the person whom they are going to,
Yes, the
betray.
victim. Victim.
So this is an interesting line. Okay, and also you see we are using a lot of computer these days, right? In the modern era. So the first line is very good. Your computer will betray you. Okay, that
Yes, sir.
means because we are using computer for everything, for our transactions, for our password storage, for our secret files. Okay, so
Yes.
if not handled properly, our computer can betray us. So this is a lesson that many CEOs, criminals, politicians, and ordinary citizens have learned the hard way. I hope you agree with this.
Yes, sir.
Nobody can escape this. If you are not careful, okay, then this can go against you. So you must be very careful while using your computer or your mobile or your electronic devices. Okay. So if you are leaving a trail, a digital trail, okay, it is a trail, and somebody can use it. Okay.
Yes.
It says it's like a coating of fresh snow. While you walk in snow, the footprints are there in the snow. So
Yes, sir.
see, you have your cell phone records, your ATM transactions, web searches. If you're searching something, even that can be, used against you by criminals. Your emails, your text messages. These are examples of a few footprints that we leave. Okay. So, and you can
Okay.
see we are literally drowning in electronically stored information. I hope you agree with that. We are relying too much on our mobiles, on our laptops, on the digital media, on digital entertainment. Like it's a deluge, it's a flood of that, and we are sort of drowning in it.
Yes, sir.
And then a few, for a layman, you understand what a petabyte is. So this is an old this thing data, 1.2 million petabytes in 2010. We have gone beyond that also.
Yes, sir.
We do you know the units that we're using right now? Petabyte is one unit. Like our hard disk is a terabyte, right? What is a
Yes.
terabyte, Sanjo?
Sir, 1024 gigabytes.
Okay, that means 10 raised to what 12. Okay,
Yes, sir.
10 raised to power 12. Then a peta is a 10 raised to power 15. All
Okay.
right. And after that, there is an exa, yeta, zota, zenota. Have you heard of them?
Sir, I have only heard about zettabyte. Zettabyte is also there, right?
All right. I'll show you something which, let's see if I've got it here. I had it with me. So uh, just give me a second. I'll just search that for you because that's very interesting information that we have. Yeah, we could have it here. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. See on screen now, very interesting. I'll share this file with you also. See how the data has risen. We were, there in the beginning with 1 byte, 8 bits, 1 KB, 1 MB, 1 GB, 1 TB, 1 PB. See now where we have reached. Just have a look.
Yes, sir.
See the
Yottabyte.
units. Exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte, zenotabyte, silent no byte, dome, game, grottybyte. So this is the, why I'm stressing this huge data, increase in data sizes is that we are dealing with such information either on our phones or on our laptops, on our digital devices, on our hard disks. So we are prone to, be targeted by people who are criminals.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. You can take a snapshot of this if you wish, Sanju.
Sir, I have noted down zettabyte, yottabyte, silentnobyte, and the magma. How
Great,
do you
great.
pronounce it? The magma.
Which one?
Last one,
It's
Domag,
Dome Game Grottybyte.
Dome Game Grottebyte.
Yeah,
Dom.
Chinese names, they always coin these terms. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So see how we need these units because our sizes, data sizes are increasing in a very fast way. Okay. So let's come back to this point here that you can imagine now maybe we are dealing with the zenota of data instead of petabytes as shown in the figure that is in 2010. So the impact of our growing digital dependence is being felt in many domains, not the least of which is the legal system. Okay, so you see, digital evidence is finding a way into the world's courts. Previously, we had human evidence. Somebody would vouch that I've seen this person committing this crime, or I saw him around the crime scene like this. But now the courts are also relying on the digital evidence. It is also finding its way into the world's courts. Okay,
Okay.
so digital evidence is also very important. That's what we are going to learn in this subject: digital forensics, digital evidence gathering, presenting, and all. Okay. So the question is, what is forensic science? Okay, what is forensic science? So forensic science, it's the application of science to solve a legal problem. Simply in one line, we can say that forensic science is the application of science to solve a legal problem. Okay, and in forensics, the law and science are forever integrated. Remember this. In forensics, the law and science are forever integrated. That means that you must be scientific in your approach so that you can prove something in the court of laws, right? So they cannot go without each other. Okay, and it says the best scientific evidence in the world is worthless if it is inadmissible in a court of law. Like if you are providing some scientific evidence and if you are not able to show it properly and it is not admissible in a court of law, then it is worthless. Okay, forensic science, right? So next is, what is digital forensics? Okay, so there are, if you just search on Google, you will find many definitions on digital forensics. And in forensic magazine, it has been defined like this. Just let's read this. The application of computer science and investigative procedures for a legal purpose involving the analysis of, this is important, digital evidence after proper search authority, chain of custody, validation with mathematics, use of validated tools, repeatability, reporting, and possible expert presentation. See, gathering, then validating, then mathematical analysis, then doing some validation with proper validated tools, then reporting, and possibly presenting it in the best possible way is the digital forensics. Okay. So we just can't say that our digital forensic is some evidence from our laptop or desktop. Okay. We could be dealing with mobile devices, networks, cloud systems. Okay. So, and we would be involved in the analysis of images, videos, and audio in both analog and digital format. And the focus of this kind of analysis is generally authenticity, comparison, and enhancement. Okay, we must compare the evidence with the already existing, evidence that we have or the already existing norms that we have, so that we can authenticate that this particular evidence is strong, can be presented in a court of law. Okay, then fast in a fast way, I'll just go through the uses of digital forensics. Wherever you feel you need to ask something, you can ask, right? So it can be used in criminal investigations, that you understand. Okay, so criminal investigation, you see, it could be, people would say that if you are investigating something, it could be child pornography or theft. Okay, but there are many other criminal investigations that are digital forensics can help. Okay, so it could be homicide, it could be sexual assault, rape, robbery, burglary. Okay, so many things are there, and our digital forensics helps us in a long way to tackle all these. Okay, so broadly you can say it is criminal investigations, then the civil cases, civil litigation, intelligence, and administrative matters. Okay, so we are discussing criminal investigations. Then in civil cases also we can take the help of digital forensics in civil litigation. Okay, there is a very important and a very interesting case, Bind, Torture, and Kill, about Dennis Rader, okay, who was a serial killer. So you can just read it, okay, and then we can maybe discuss in our some of our future classes. Maybe some movies also made on this. I'll check and see if the movie is available. I'll refer it to you, okay. So he was an expert killer, and he was caught after 30 years of committing crimes. He murdered 10 people in Kansas from 1974 to 1991, but he was captured 30 years later with the help of digital forensics. Okay, you can see the highlighted one. This case had national attention, and thanks to digital forensics, was solved 30 years later. See, from 1974 to 1991, he killed 10 people, but he was not convicted. Nobody was able to catch him. But one small mistake and one digital forensics investigation, the case was solved 30 years later. Okay, so you can read about it. Okay, all the things are mentioned here, how he was caught. Then in civil cases, also you can take the help of digital forensics. Okay, you can read about it. Okay, I'll share this book with you today. You see, most of the things once you study would be understandable, because this is how in today's world we are solving crime. Okay, previously it was a very difficult task, But now with the help of digital forensics, we can really tackle crime in a very good way. Okay. Then also intelligence that you understand, like terrorists are planning something, or some things are moving around in the country. Some anti-nationals are working, to destabilize the country. Then the intelligence wing is also relying very hard on the digital forensics. I hope you agree with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And then in the end, we have in the administrative matters. Okay, so in the administrative matters other than litigation and matters of national security. Okay, like if somebody is violating some policy and procedure, okay, or regarding some electronically stored information, if somebody is trying to steal information or something like that, then or if somebody is bypassing some laws, then all these administrative matters can also be tackled with digital forensics. We do have some commissions regarding that, not to look too much into that. Okay. Okay, so there is a Locard's exchange principle, Sanjog, which says that in the physical world, when perpetrators, who just do some crime, whenever they enter or leave a crime scene, they will leave something behind and they'll take something with them. Okay, examples include DNA, latent prints, hairs, and fibers. Okay, this is Locard's exchange principle. Okay, we are talking of physical things like latent prints, hair, fibers. The same is true in case of digital forensics. Okay, so while somebody is hacking into your system, so we can just go through the registry keys and log files to pick up who has tampered with a system, or who has entered in a system, or who has stolen some information from our system. Okay, so we can just go through all these things to pick up the person, right? Let's see what we have. Okay. I'll switch to a presentation. I just wanted you to be just aware of basically what is digital forensics. Okay. Not all the things are not to be read from this book. This is a big book, but we'll just pick up the things that are of interest to us. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then we have the role of the forensic examiner in the judicial system. Okay, that means the person who is presenting the forensic information in a court of law, what is his role, how he must go about it. So, the digital forensics practitioner most often plays the role of an expert witness. You see, because he has just gathered all the information, he has checked the credibility of the information. So, you can say he's a sort of a witness. He's an expert witness who can tell everything about the crime. Okay, so why they are known as expert witnesses, these digital forensics practitioners, and how they are different from non-expert witnesses. Okay, so the difference is very clear. The other witnesses can only testify to what they did or saw. Okay, so like you say, they are testifying, yeah, I saw this person committing this crime, I saw this person killing this person. Okay, I saw this person entering the house at night, right? So
Yes.
they are generally limited to those areas, okay, and they are not permitted to render an opinion. They don't have any opinion of their own that this might have happened like this. Okay, they only rely on what they did or what they saw. And the experts, the forensic, examiners, the experts, they can give their own opinion also that this evidence was found. So most probably this crime occurred like this. Okay, so, if they are expert, what is their assistance to the legal system? So they can assist the judge or jury to understand and interpret evidence they may be unfamiliar with. You see, normally jury or judge, they may not be the technical people. So the practitioner, the judicial practitioner, is like an expert to those people, and they can, and he or she can assist the judge or jury to understand the evidence and interpret the evidence. Okay, is it clear, Sanjog?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then the differentiation is there that the truly effective and a truly qualified expert, you can just read about it. Okay, yeah. So this is about the first chapter, a broad, introduction to our digital forensics. Okay, let's now just I'll just open up a presentation for you, Sanjog. I hope you can see the presentation on screen now.
It is open. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So now we'll just discuss whatever we have discussed in the initial part of our lecture in the shape of a presentation. Okay. And you may take the screenshots of this. Okay. You may note down whatever way you feel comfortable with. So the question is, what is digital forensics? Okay. So digital forensics is the preservation, identification, extraction, interpretation, and documentation of computer evidence which can be used in the court of law. I think the idea is clear
Yes,
that
sir.
nowadays the digital forensics, whatever evidence that we have can be presented, the digital evidence can be presented in a court of law. Okay. And the digital forensics, it defines, it tells us that it preserves, it identifies, it extracts, it interprets, and it documents the computer evidence, which can be later on used in the court of law. Is this clear, Sanjog, this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then we have branches of digital forensics. Okay, so we have branches like network forensics, firewall forensics, database forensics, mobile devices forensics. I hope you understand that if some information evidence has been gathered from a network through a network, okay, like
Yes,
not from one system but through a network of systems, okay, then it is termed as a network forensic. Firewall forensics, you understand, if somebody goes behind a firewall, usually firewall protects the information, so but
yes,
we can get information from beyond that also. Then the database forensics, database could be a data about some CCTV camera, okay, so like the date and time of the evidence could be there. So database forensics, and then mobile device forensics. Mobile devices also, the call records and all, as you understand, the location of the SIM. Okay, so all these things come under mobile device forensics. And you see the names of the different branches speaks to the different areas which they focus on. I hope this slide is also clear, Sanjo.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sanjog, if you need to ask anything, you can interrupt me and you can ask, okay?
Okay, sir. No problem.
Okay. Then what are the benefits we just saw? Now we can have some detailed information about it. We saw the four broad categories, if you remember. What were those four broad categories? Let's just check. Remember the four broad categories we had?
We had read a few minutes ago.
Just a second, I'll just get to that. Yeah. You can just note down criminal investigation, civil litigation, intelligence, and administrative matters. And you should also see the details about it. I've discussed them with you, but you should make some notes about it, right? Criminal investigation, civil litigation, intelligence, and administrative matters. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
similarly here we see that it could be a case involving theft of intellectual property. Like it could be some patent, some trade secrets, some customer data. Read it patent, not patient, right? Read it as patent.
Yes, sir.
This pertains to any act that allows access to patents, trade secrets, customer data, and any confidential information. Like if somebody has stolen something which belongs to you only, something for which you have not given any sharing sort of thing, and that's your own, intellectual property. You don't want to share it with other, and somebody, if he or she uses it, so it comes as a theft of intellectual property, known as IPR, intellectual property right. It's there in our constitution. Okay,
APR. Yes.
right. Then another thing that digital forensics can help you is in financial fraud. Okay, so this pertains to anything that uses fraudulent solicitation of victims' information to conduct fraudulent transactions. You see it a lot of time. People asking you that some you get a call from some person saying that he is calling from bank and that the ATM of the person has been blocked,
Yes, sir.
so then they say that share the 16-digit pin of the ATM, and then a pin will come and share the pin also. That is how the financial frauds occurs. So the digital forensics can take care of that too, right? This slide is clear, Sanjog?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then hacker system penetration. Okay, so we have a lot of vulnerabilities about our system. Somebody can hack into our system. Okay, and through certain tools such as rootkits and sniffers. Okay, so that can also be taken through, with this digital forensics we can solve that also. Then distribution and execution of viruses and worms. This is very common form of cybercrime. Like somebody can distribute and execute virus in your system sitting maybe 100,000 miles away. So that virus is sort of activated on a particular date, and the files can be sent to you through email. Okay, so this is another, and we can track through digital forensics, like from where this has come. Although it's very difficult, but this can be tracked using digital forensics. Okay, now to do all this, what are the challenges faced by digital forensics? Okay, because you see, with the increase of the usage of desktops and laptops and the access to internet at such a high fast speed, the exchange of information is quick and inexpensive. Okay, and this is a challenge by digital forensics because with this a very inexpensive internet and easy availability of laptops and desktops and other devices, network devices, people can do crimes which can go unnoticed. Okay, so this is a challenge for the digital forensics teams. Then easy availability of hacking tools. Suppose you need to hack something, you planning to do something, some fraud. So a lot of help is available on the internet. You can just Google that how I can do this. So that's very easy nowadays. So once again, a big challenge for the digital forensics. And then the lack of physical evidence makes crimes harder to prosecute. Once even if you have found out that who is the person or the group who has done some crime, to bring them to a court of law and to bring them to justice, the physical evidence is not there, and our laws are not very stringent right now. Okay, so the lack of physical evidence makes crimes harder to prosecute. The slide is clear, Sanjog?
Yes, sir.
Anything that you need to ask?
Uh,
You can just make a list of things that you need to ask, and maybe at the end of today's lecture or maybe in the next lecture, you can discuss that with me. And you just start working on a unit by unit basis, that what are the possible questions in this unit, what are the possible topics. Okay, and then you can just read it and make some notes from the book. That would be the ideal way to go about this subject, because this subject would seem very easy, but then you need to focus on a lot of things, the technical terms that you need to learn and understand and work with, right?
yes, sir. Yes,
I'll
sir.
share the book with you after the end of today's class in the group itself, right?
Okay, sir.
Then also, you see the challenges they faced by digital forensics. We are continuing with that. You can see the easy availability of internet, laptops, desktops makes the exchange of information very quick and inexpensive. Then easy availability of hacking tools makes hackers, serious threat. Then even if they are found out, they are caught, to bring them to justice, there's a lot of lack of physical evidence. So this is a big challenge for digital forensics. Similarly, you can go. We just discussed about the data sizes. So 1 TB is a common term nowadays for people as their hard disk. So they can go up to 10 terabytes of storage space. So they have enough, space to do some serious crimes. And with the rapid, technological changes that are occurring, the solutions for them, by the solutions by the digital forensics, they need to upgrade them. They need to upgrade their solutions so that they are up to the mark with all the perpetrators, right? Then next is information lost or deleted from computers will be able to be uncovered and stored and be used as evidence. So, like somebody may erase a hard disk, although we can recover it, but it's a tough ask. So that is also a challenge for our uh, digital forensics, right? And digital forensics also allows the tracing criminal activities and personnel online. We can trace the people, you see, and perpetrators can now be investigated and brought to justice regardless of their geographical location. That you understand that if a person,
Yes.
even if he has fled to some place, after committing a crime, he can be brought back. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's not that he's hiding somewhere or in a different country, so you won't be able to touch him. He can be investigated and brought to justice regardless of where he or she is. Okay. Then various measures can now be put into place so that crimes such as espionage can be easily recognized, easily, and swift action to be undertaken. So digital forensics, also gives you a very good, you can say, a very good mechanism in which the spying, espionage is when some countries they send their spies to some other country. So those spies, जो जासूस होते हैं, they can be recognized, okay, with the help of the digital forensics. Maybe their call records, their computer email exchanges, so they can be easily recognized. Okay. Otherwise, in the times when we didn't have this computers or digital forensics, it was difficult. It was just with the help of people around. When the people were spread, like the people we say the khabris of police. Okay, so it was possible with that. But now the digital forensics can tackle this also, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, next we have 5 steps in performing digital forensics. So we have been talking of what digital forensics is, what are the categories, what are the applicable application areas of digital forensics. Now we say what are the 5 steps in performing digital forensics. Okay, first one is the preparation. Okay, so here we talk of not the preparation of the data, but the preparation of the investigator. Okay, the
Okay.
preparation of the investigator, how he prepares himself to perform digital forensics. Next is the collection of the data. So you see, first, I'm sorry, first the investigator must be ready. He must understand the challenges, or he must understand the scenario in which he is going to work, so he needs to prepare himself according to that. The second is about the collection of the data. What data needs to be collected, from which place, from which device, and what mechanism should be followed. Then once the data has been collected, then to examine that data is very, very important. To examine it in the minutest way. Okay, each and every detail must be taken into care. And once the examination has been done, then the analysis. Okay, so analysis like this thing happened like this mobile location was here, so this person is not involved in this, something like this, because this person was at some other place at that time. So something like this, examination and then analysis. This is very important. So it requires an expert actually to perform digital forensics. Not everybody can perform digital forensics. And once the examination has been done, examination of the data, of the evidence, and analysis has been made, then how you present it, how you report it, that is the fifth step. Right, Sanjo? Preparation of the investigator, collection of the data, examination of the data, then analysis of the data, and then the reporting of the data. These are the 5 steps in performing digital forensics. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then preparation. So I've discussed with you with them. Now let's discuss it in detail. The investigator must be properly trained. I told you, not anybody and anybody can do this investigation. The person needs to be trained to perform the specific kind of investigation that is at hand. So we have got expert people, we have trained people, like people who are experts in understanding what this evidence, the digital evidence means, and tools that are used to generate reports for court should be validated. So whatever tools this investigator is using, they should be the validated tools. That is, the court says yes, these tools are all right. Okay, and there could be many tools to be used in the process, and one should determine the proper tool to be used based on the case. So, in a nutshell, there are many tools available to deal with different types of crime. Okay. Now, the preparation of the investigator is first that he should be trained to do the work he's doing, whatever work is at hand. And the second one is that he should make a good selection of the tool that he requires, which after which he can put this evidence in front of a court. Is this clear, Sanju?
Yes, sir.
Anything to ask?
No, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. Then collecting digital evidence. So it can be collected from many sources such as computers, cell phones, digital cameras, hard drives, CD-ROM, USB storage, flash drives. These are the important digital collecting, digital evidence collecting tools. Okay,
Okay,
that
sir.
I suppose.
Yes, sir.
Now, these are the ones that computers. Whenever I ask you, okay, Sanjog, tell me, like a crime has occurred, so where can we get the information? So you'll say, sir, from the laptop, desktop, from the cell phone of the victim, or from the digital camera, the CCTV camera, the hard drives, the CD-ROM.
Yes, sir.
So these are the obvious sources, okay, that
Okay.
first come to mind. And non-obvious sources are settings of digital thermometers, black boxes inside automobiles. So just to track the information of automobiles, we can put some, black box inside it, some RFID tag. Okay. Then web pages. Web pages, they keep on changing. So because some web pages can help us to solve a particular crime. Okay.
Okay.
Investigators do this, like if they have some person in range on their radar that this person could be the perpetrator of the crime, then they can put RFID tags, okay, which can tell their locations. They can just track the all the events that are occurring. So black boxes are a good help. Okay, fine. So you see, a special care must be taken when handling computer evidence. Because you see, most, as you see on Facebook and WhatsApp nowadays, the videos are fake, the photos are fake, right? So
Or
you
photos.
cannot rely on this digital evidence. You must be very, very careful in handling it. Okay. And because most of the digital information is easily changed. And once changed, it is usually impossible to detect that a change has taken place. राइट बिकॉज देखिए आपको कोई फोटो दिखती है जैसे एक फोटो के ऊपर फोटो सुपर इम्पोज कर देते हैं ओके
Yes, sir.
सो उससे कैसे पता चलता है कि आपको आप यू कैन नॉट डिटेक्ट इट सो you need to use your own brains here. You must see that maybe whether this picture is fake or not, whether this video is true or not, something like this. Okay, so it is usually impossible to detect that a change has taken place. Okay, unless other measures have been taken. So one should be very careful. One should not just trust the digital evidence at the first go. He or she must be very careful that yes, this there is a possibility that this information, this evidence could be fake, could be tailor-made, could have been tampered with. So you cannot rely on the machine because it says that the machine, we are talking about the computer, it has got no brain. So use your own brain to validate this evidence. Is that clear, Sanjo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then you see the personal interview also is very important. It is the most valuable information obtained in the course of a forensic examination. It comes from the person who has used the computer. Okay, because if you are tracking some computer at a crime scene, then who all have used that, they can just give you a good information about it. Okay, about the system configuration, about the applications, about the encryption keys. So an interview with such a person is very, very important during a digital forensics examination. Now, special care must be taken to ensure that a forensic specialist has the legal authority to seize. We have talked about the investigator, but then investigator must have the legal authority to pick up certain things, to seize some laptops, some hard drives, and must have the authority to examine the data. Okay, and one should not examine digital information unless one has a legal authority to do so, because you could get into a legal problem, like if you are an investigator but you are trying to investigate something, you're trying to pick up certain things which don't fall into your legal jurisdiction. So in that case you could be in trouble. So who can perform analysis? The analyst can perform, but he should have the legal authority to do all the things which are required in the investigation. So that's why some legal information is given by the given to the crime teams, that yes, you can do it. There's a court order, you can do it, something like this. Some legal information must be there. They must have some good proof, to seize the things, right? Sanjog, any questions? Sanjog, can you hear me? Sanjog, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Okay, I think I lost you. Yeah, you're there. Okay, great. Now, next is live versus dead analysis. Okay, so you see, normally we are not working with live data when we are working with the evidence that we have got, the hard disk, the computer, and the laptops, the flash drives. So we can say that it is a dead analysis because we are dealing with data, not we are not dealing with data that is live. We are dealing with data that has actually occurred, so it can be taken up as it can be thought of as a dead analysis. Okay, so all digital evidence must be analyzed to determine the type of information that is stored upon it. Okay, so some forensic toolkit, some NK, some sleuth kit. So all the things are there. Okay, analysis we have special kits. So all the things should be there. So how the analysis is done is comprised of manual review of the material on the media, reviewing the window registry for suspect information, discovering and cracking the passwords, then keyword searches for topics related to the crime, extracting email and images for review. So this is the some of the possibilities of analysis that you can do on your data. Then next comes the reporting. Okay, reporting is also very important. It could be a written reporting. It could be a oral testimony. You see, you can give a document in the court of law that this is the details of the investigation that has been carried out, and at the same time you can spell out something orally also. Okay, so it could be written, it could be oral, it could be both. Okay, and reporting should be done, by people who are experts, subject matter experts in their area. It should not be like one person who is in the team but is not aware of the technicality of that particular subject area. So reporting should be done by a person who is good, who is an expert, who is a specialist in that particular subject matter. So this is regarding the like the initial this thing about digital forensics, right? So any questions, Sanjo? Have you understood the basics of digital forensics? Sanjog, are you there with me? Uh,
Sir, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but you are muted for quite some time. Yes, I
Oh,
said any problems regarding what we have studied till now? Like, have you
yes, sir.
understood broadly what we are going to study in this subject? We have just begun.
Yes,
आपको
sir, I
समझ
have
में आ
understood.
गया ना हमने जो जो पढ़ा है आज, ठीक है? So let's see what all we are going to study further. Okay, let's have a listing of that. So I'll just go to the topics, what all we need to study based on our syllabus. So this is the broad categorization you can see. Okay. So the first one is obviously the introduction. What is this? What is forensic? What is digital uses? Locard's exchange principle. You do you remember Locard's exchange principle?
Yes, sir, we have studied this just a moment ago the cards exchange principle.
What does it say? It says that like a person who is committing a crime is you
Always
know
leave some.
is going to take something from the crime scene and going to leave something on the crime scene,
Yes, sir.
right? Then a role of the forensic examiner in the judicial system. That is what we have studied today, right? Chapter 1 we have studied today based on unit 1. Okay. So next we have something related with the technical part of the investigation. What are bits? What are bytes? File extensions? File signatures? What is storage? Different types of memories, computing environments, data types, file systems, right? So I'm hoping that you understand this concept, right? So you just give it a reading, Sanjog. When we meet for
Yes,
the
sir.
class next week, this chapter 2 should be, just go through it. There's nothing much in it, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then we have what are the forensic laboratories, policies and procedures, quality assurance, and what are the digital forensic tools. This is in our third chapter, right?
Okay, sir.
Then how do we collect evidence? Okay, crime scenes and collecting evidence. How do we do documentation on the scene? Like how do we note all the things? what is the chain of custody, what is cloning, what is live versus. We have just gone through some of these also. Okay. So in
Okay,
our
sir.
next lecture, we'll focus on particular units. Okay. So if I just go to your syllabus here, okay. So this is broad. Unit one is just a broad introduction, right? Then the second one is cyber crime scene analysis. Okay, how we
Yes, sir.
can see pick up the electronic evidence, and how we can do all the documentation that the court requires. Okay, then the third unit is the evidence management and presentation. How do we manage, like how do we keep it in various folders, like the work already, the computer people, they do like this, like create and manage shared folders using operating system, importance of the forensic mindset, workload of law enforcement. So some technical terms would come in, but more or less it would be how do you manage the evidence, how you keep it, how do you present it. And then unit 4 is computer forensics. Okay, so it would be dealing with the computer part of it. Okay, then the network forensic analysis would be there in unit 4. And then unit 5 we saw is related to the mobile forensics. Okay, so the legal aspects and the legal acts would be there. Okay, so what I would suggest to you is, uh, till we meet, next week we are meeting again on Tuesday. Okay, or maybe if time allows, I can pick up a class with you at this weekend also, if you are willing. And okay, I have time. So I just want you to go through this chapter, that is chapter 2, on your own. Okay,
Okay.
chapter 2 on your own, and we'll discuss then the collecting evidence, because this book would be in a great detail. So we'll pick up all the relevant things from this book and we'll discuss it, right?
Okay.
Collecting evidence would be a topic in the next class. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and then how to pick up the deleted data, and how to study the registry. Okay, how to manage the recycle bin. Okay, all these terms we'll study in our next discussion, that is on next Tuesday. That is chapter 4 and chapter 5, which would be your units 2 and 3, right?
Chapter 4 and chapter 5 are unit 2 and 3.
I think if I can correlate it well, I think it should be. Yes, it should be unit crime scene and evidence management and presentation. It should be units 2 and 3. Not exactly, but yeah, because there could be more chapters. This book is in a very, uh, organized in a very good way. So a lot of detail is there. Very good, detail, like what are the password attacks, what is technography, things that you might have already studied in your BTech, but now you can explore it in a greater detail. Then the legal aspects. Okay,
Mm.
then how to check the internet and email, how to use the web. So this is basically computers, and then crime investigation, evidence collection, all is mixed. How the digital forensic uses the latest technology, the computers, to investigate and solve a particular crime. And then network forensics, how somebody can attack your network. Okay, so all this we'll discuss in our future classes, right? So I think that should be the end of today's class, and I hope that you had a great session, Joe. Now I'll
Yes.
be sharing the content with you. You just go through this book. This is a very interesting book, and spend some time with it. And
Okay.
in the next class onwards, we'll have polls also, so that I can understand that you are picking up things. Just for your, understanding part, I would be picking up some questions and would be expecting some answers from you through the meeting part, right?
Okay, sir. No
So Sanjog,
problem.
anything else that you want to discuss or you want to ask? You can put
Uh,
a message in the group also, but right now if you need to discuss something, you can ask.
Sir, actually, it's not related to subject, but I just wanted to confirm whether the class will be from 11 to 12 or 2 to 3, because in the timetable it was from 2 to 3.
Mm, you suggest,
So
because
whatever the,
like we are at home now.
yes,
Our
sir.
college like has said that you work from home.
Yes, sir.
So if you are okay with whatever time you are okay with, 10 to 11, 11 to 12 suits me. Is a good time. But if you say 2 to 3, it's okay with me. You tell.
Sir, actually, I also work in the office, and my office has been closed till 15th of May. So up till then, I'll be free. I'll be
Yeah, true, true. Same with us. No problems. Right.
be comfortable. I'll be free. So you can take the class from 11 to 12 or 10 to 11 also.
Right. So we'll be taking the class next week from 11 to 12, right? Okay,
Yes,
and
sir.
then once your workplace opens and my college opens, then we can follow the timetable as usual, right?
Yes, sir. No problem.
चलिए ठीक है संजोग. I'm closing this class now.
Okay, sir. I had one more question.
Yeah.
Uh, Sir, in my first final examination of the first semester, I noted that we had to do 5 questions, each of 12 marks.
Hmm.
I had not been very much familiar with this concept of completion of one question within 1 hour or so, but I
Okay.
noted that it was taking me around 45 to 50 minutes to complete just one question.
Okay.
And we had to do 5 questions, and total time was 3 hours. So it is quite difficult it is getting quite difficult for me to complete five
You
questions in
see,
three.
that is what has been decided, that the final examinations, the pattern of the examination is decided. It is going to stay there, whether it's a 3 hour exam with 5 questions or whatever, you know. So you must practice it accordingly, and you must see how you can manage that time. You need to manage that time, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and with practice, you can do that. Don't worry. All right.
and sir, can you guide me whether we should focus on the quantity only, or we should need to
Yeah, yeah,
focus
I'll
on?
tell you. I'll tell you how to. That's why I asked you that when I send the book to you, and I will upload this video on my own channel. I have a channel also. Okay,
Okay.
you just subscribe to that channel. I'll send you the link for that channel. Okay,
Yes,
and
sir.
whatever you have discussed today will go on that channel. You can just review it from there. One thing. Secondly, you must prepare a list of questions like from the syllabus, from the book that I've sent you, from the things that we have discussed. At the end of today's lecture, you must be sure that what sort of questions can be there. So one question could be what is digital forensics, and what is its application areas. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then what is the role of investigator, right? What are the possible sources of evidence collection? Something like this. So
Okay,
once
sir.
you are aware of the questions, while you can write them very nicely in the exam in the shortest possible time. Yeah, but I'll help you in preparing for that. Don't worry. Right?
Okay.
Anything else, Sanjog?
No, sir. No, sir. Thank you.
Chali. We'll meet soon then. If not on Tuesday, I'll send a message that if you're comfortable on Saturday and Sunday, we can have a class and we can resolve some of your doubts that are coming to your mind regarding the examination preparation and the examination execution. We'll discuss that in our future classes, right?
Okay, sir.
Chali. I'm closing the class now. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Bye bye.
Bye.